side.
Oh, and we're
now
live.
I could just. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're live, but we're still talking. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
The side by side system.
Yeah. Because mine
nice.
still says scheduled.
Well, mine says live, and the clock's ticking.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay, so whether we're live or not, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. Yes, I don't know if I'm live. I don't know. I think I might be.
You better be with me, Daphne.
Right. I'm almost afraid to reboot this. No, to refresh it.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
Okay. Well,
all right, let's see what happens after this intro.
Right, I know. It's a mess here. Hold on.
It is February 28th, 2022, and I will be right back. Oh, we're live, apparently. The chat said we're live.
Oh, okay.
All right, dudes. Well, here's the intro. Okay, if I drop the card and Daphne's not here.
No, I'm here. No, mine it literally refreshed and went live on my computer like during the critical blast thing. So I think just might have been just a glitch on my end. So good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Monday. It's Monday and we barely got our shit together here. I think we both had quite the weekend. So yeah, if you notice a different background for me, I had a minor flooding again in my office. It was just 1/4 of an inch of water, but anybody who owns a lot of paper knows that's more than enough.
Oh yeah.
So I had to rearrange my entire office and I'm still, tweaking everything because it's like the wiring here is just ridiculous. So
another pro to the card tables with the plastic bins, I have to take on at least 6 inches of water before anything's in danger.
Oh wow, okay. Yes, exactly. It's like, yeah, that's everything in bins. So I guess for a little bit of professionalism this Monday morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist and illustrator and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales and my medieval fantasy, my fantasy soap opera, because I still got to rearrange those words to a better coherent sentence. Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales Online, that's TAILS, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and you can also check out all my videos on how I make my comics at YouTube at Daphne Lage Art. Nita, so if I get to be the what am I? Oh, Chief Creative Officer. Then who am I saluting this morning?
My name is Nita Lanning. I am CEO of Ragin Services and Promotions. I am executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network. And I write, vlog, and blog shit.
All right, there you go. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be one of those mornings. So, little quick housekeeping. So, I just want to thank the 117 people who have signed up for my launch page for Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, and I'm even getting fanfare in the back right there. We have just over 2 weeks before the launch of the campaign for issue 4 on March 14th, and I would really like to be able to get. Boy, it's like I'm not Englishing very good today. I would really like to get 40 more people to sign up for my pre-launch page, because that will epic. Match the amount of backers I had on my previous issue 3, my previous issue 3 campaign. I don't know if these two numbers are related to each other, whether the backer count and the follower count, coincide somehow, but I would like to perform this experiment for science. So help a girl out, sign up for the pre-launch page. All the links are in the show notes.
And they're not, because guess what?
What?
I made an executive decision.
Oh, so what executive
Some links are in the show notes.
Okay.
Ones that are more personal to us and our
right
here. The rest, there is a link to the Ragin promos page where there is a announcement called the show notes expanded, and there you're going to find all the links.
Oh, cool. Okay. So if you see a link tree for me at that link tree at that Daphne Lage, that'll have the link to my pre-launch page, along with everything else.
Your pre-launch is in the notes. That's perfect.
Oh, okay, there you go. I get to be in the launch. So, also
yes,
we
my
have.
Lage.
Also, we should still have all those campaigns that we're promoting, right? That should still be in the show notes too. I haven't checked, although I did put links in the chat. So nobody misses anything. We have Long Shots, we have Ego Raven, we have Oswald Chronicles,
There's an alien in my toilet.
And yes, and speaking of, there's an alien in my toilet. There's a crazy man in my green room.
Oh Lord, should we let him in?
I think so.
Hey, totally throw his bump first. We should bring him in.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do the fanfare correctly. Let's go.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze! Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze! On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze! Join the movement. Catch the Craze!
What up? And here he is, Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
Oh, it's Darius. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Oh my goodness. So I hope you're having a better Monday than we are.
Oh no, I feel like crap. I feel like I haven't slept in years. It's crazy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but hopefully not because of flooding or having to rearrange technology. Right.
It's just working both ends of the candle.
What's going on? Just be careful with that. Yeah. We always talk about, you have to take care of yourself. Hey, Mog, you always have to take care of yourself because the work's not going to be, the work doesn't make itself.
No.
It still needs us to do it. So.
I know.
So recently you actually hit goal on There's an Alien in My Toilet.
Yeah.
And yes, you have 66 backers with 8 days to go.
Yes.
And so how's it going?
Well, it was moving slowly, and what's crazy is that the signups keep growing. So it's funny how you have 100 people signed up. I have 100 people right now that's following the campaign, and 30 of them converted. So it's like so I'm like, they keep signing up. Maybe they're gonna be there for the last 2 days. So because there's no way to communicate with them. Only Kickstarter does that at the 48-hour mark. So that's a little encouraging when you see that people keep signing up every day. I talked to George. I was like, another one, 2 more. I was like, so that's exciting. So I hope with this when we break 100 backers, even if it's all digital, I just want people to read it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So for everybody who doesn't know, I mean, I don't know if Nita, you want to put the campaign up just so everyone can get a visual. But it's like you've done like previous campaigns before, for the Crazies and then for Forbidden.
Right.
But this one's different. I think this one's different because it's like this is the one that I've always known you for.
Yes.
It's like from the very beginning, Duty was always, was always in your sidecar.
He's my boy.
And it's like, and this, would it be fair to say that I think out of all the books that you've done campaigns, for, this is your passion project? I love talking about passion projects, but like this one, I think this is the one that gets you, right?
This is the one that brings out the kid in me. This is the one that I get to have fun and just play, and break all the rules. Duty. I've always been a sci-fi buff, an alien buff, my whole life. I've always appreciated, Alf, Marvin the Martian. I loved just anything Jim Henson touched. So for me, I love humor. I love to laugh. And with Duty, I get to do all that stuff. I get to laugh. I get to have fun. The creativity is just endless when I'm working on this project.
Yeah, because I like and the thing is though too is that when you mean that this book is all ages, you mean it.
Yes.
It's not because you even have like little educational pages in there and puzzles and what made you go in that direction?
Because I believe that there are two things that are key to life for me. It's laughter and it's the imagination, and that comes with education, because the more you know, the more questions you'll have and the more you get to explore. And I think we're so desensitized with so many things and distracted. I want to bring it back to basics where you just get to associate laughter and education in one frame set, and sometimes it's hard. I think especially now with what's happening in education, there's so much conflict. We forget that the kids are the most impressionable at a certain age, and if we just get them to just imagine and have fun and be kids and stop trying to make them adults, let them be kids, let them have fun. Stop putting all this unnecessary pressure on them. When I was a kid, my mom introduced me to Archie comics as a kid. She used to read the digest. She let me be a kid. She let me watch the cartoons. She let me go build my fortresses. She let me go outside with a telescope and stare at the stars and ask questions about, I wonder if there's life on that planet. And it made me research, So when I looked up at the stars, it's like, what is the Milky Way? And it made me go and read it. I mean, my sister jokes with me. We had encyclopedias. That is like foreign right now, right? What the hell is that, right?
But now my kids, they have a question. They're like, Alexa, what is? But even still, they're feeding their brains doing that. They're asking.
And you would see me on the floor with a big old encyclopedia trying to find what I'm looking. And it used to be fascinating. And so I want people to, I want to introduce comics to the next generation so we don't lose. Comics doesn't go to the wayside. We don't lose that. And then they'll grow out of it as they grow older and then move on like I did. I moved on from Archie comics to G.I. Joe to X-Men, gradually. But let them just explore and have fun. And this does that. So the parents can sit down and laugh and read a book that's safe for their kids. Right. And the kids and the family can do these word puzzles together. They're the trivia together. There's critical thinking questions in there, And in the first book, there's also a glossary of terms because Duty does have an extended vocabulary. So for the kids who are being introduced to it, Mom, what is that word? And it's right there at the back of the book. So I just want everybody to have fun.
Right. And what I like also is that like this chart right here shows Duty in all his different incarnations.
Yes.
And there's it's like when when we read about like how to write and how to create, how to world build and whatnot, we always talk about a main character being the audience proxy. It's like that's the character that I guess like explains everything, or
Right.
or it has everything explained to them. But in what makes this really funny is that your audience proxy is an alien,
Yes.
but through that alien, we can also live all these different characters at
Yes.
the same time. So it's like no matter what you need Duty to be, he's going to be it.
Yeah, it goes back to the imagination and the possibilities, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love Halloween and dressing up?
Right. Yeah.
Everybody
exactly.
loves Halloween. I mean, cosplay is one of the biggest things, and Duty is the ultimate cosplayer, right?
Yeah.
He's got it nailed down. No one does it better than Duty,
Uh-huh.
right? So, and what happens is Duty has a larger than life persona. You know, in reality, he's always at the short end of the stick. But when he's in his dream state, he imagines himself to be these superheroes, that, you know, a samurai doing battle against his foe. But in reality, that foe actually beat him up, right? So it's like, so he gets to conjure himself into this larger. He wins in his imagination, which actually fuels his stubbornness and arrogance in reality, because he won't admit defeat no matter what the odds, and he's always has that fight and that to push forward no matter what. And I think that's what you need. I think, you know, courage is a rare commodity today, right? You know, there's a lot of spectators, and it takes courage to identify who you are and your purpose, and muscle through life with that.
Right.
Once you know who you are and you're able to push through life, who cares about the critics say? And that's what Duty is. Duty is he understands who he is, and no matter what, no matter the odds, no matter whether it's a woodpecker attacking him or a wolf or a turtle, he still muscles through, and he believes he's better and smarter than everybody else. And that's what's endearing about him.
Right. Well, you see, what I like about that is that I guess under different, sorry, well, we all know the other co-host. Also the other interesting thing about this, like you use these words to describe Duty, that he's arrogant, you know, that, you know, in this, and under different circumstances, it would sound negative.
Right.
But the funny thing is that in the context of how were you able to incorporate, I guess, like that type of attitude without turning Duty cynical?
Because when you listen to so it's the scenario that he finds himself in, right? So for instance, like when he forgets to refuel and he crash lands on Earth, he chalks it up as it was his plan all along, rather than admitting defeat, right? So there's that arrogance, there's that stubborn mindset, right? But you laugh because you know he knows he screwed up, but he's not going to say it, right? It's like what is it? What alternative facts or whatever? Fake news. So that's because you can't help but lie, right? You can't help but laugh, right? So it's the scenarios that make it funny. So if you listen to his dialogue and how he's basically narrating how successful he was, when you're watching the scene play out, it's like, what do you mean you're successful? You just got whooped. What do you mean you just fell in the water? You know, and I think that's where you grow to love him, because he's an only child, and he believes that, you know, he's spoiled, and so that adds to his personality, you know. So he was made into who he is, because really at the end of the day, Duty really just wants a friend. Duty wants to be recognized. He wants to feel important. So he creates this larger than life persona to fill that void that's within inside him.
I mean, that's a lot of things that we can definitely all relate to from top to bottom. Also, I just have to say, this picture of Duty, your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles homage, that has got to be my favorite drawing of him. That, I don't know, there is just something so subtle and so quiet about it. So, like, I don't know, it's just a very simple mood. Yes. But not simple it's a very calming piece.
Yes, it's that moment where, you know, if you look at the scene, you see that the UFO's crashed, right? And you see the smoke coming from the UFO, and he's sitting there and he's collecting his thoughts, right? How many times were we faced adversity or something didn't go right, and then you just need a moment to yourself? Yeah. And that's why I fell in love with that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cover. I was like, that is brilliant, because you're saying so much with so little.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so I just fell in love with it, and I said, I just have to, that's the scene that I want.
Yeah, it's a very challenging, like it's what I've heard referred to as the economy of line, and I guess like the economy of scene. How it's like you were able to successfully get this very quiet moment,
Yes.
and but not have to fill it up with anything. You
Right.
know, it's like it's just enough, you know, to really convey that. So going through your campaign, I think that this was also probably your most ambitious. I think compared to
There's a
your
lot.
previous. There's a lot going on.
It's like you're walking through the aisle, you're like, I don't know what to pick.
You know, right? You know, it's like there is a lot going on.
Yes.
But you know, really quickly, what's the main story of this, and how many issues is this going to be?
Basically the premise is, Duty is tasked with a secret mission to Earth to determine if Earth is a threat to his homeworld Uranus, and he's the only one capable of handling that mission. That's what he's led to believe. General Goatee, who's responsible for the army of Uranus, has the responsibility of babysitting Duty because Duty's father is the Emperor of Uranus. So he wants to get him out of his hair. He needs a little breather because Duty can be a little overbearing, right? So he sends him on what he believes is a fool's mission to Earth. So Duty, in his arrogance and haste, he gets on his ship and he heads to Earth. And then halfway there he realized, oh, I forgot to refuel. He crash lands. Doesn't admit it. Says it was part of his plan to infiltrate Earth's defenses, and now he must survive Earth's simple creatures, eventually leading him to a house where there's a father and son, and there's a dog named Herman he's a Chihuahua who believes that Duty's a talking jalapeno. And then the rivalry begins from there, and the adventure begins from there. This is a 10-part mini series, and the punchline is in issue 10. And then after that, it'll go into his own series, Duty, and where he returns to Earth. And the second coming of Duty, where Santa Claus is believed to be the leader of Earth, and Duty has to infiltrate Santa's camp and take him out. And then Herman gets a one-shot as well. It's called Coming to America, and basically, yes, and it's the same cover where Scarface is sitting.
No.
Well, Herman is sitting in the bubble bath with a biscuit, and it's Coming to America. It's like I Chihuahua, and so basically, it's his story on how he survived the puppy mill being taken from his country, Mexico, brought to the U.S. into a puppy trade, and then eventually escaped and got adopted by the family that he's in. So it's Herman's journey to the U.S.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So is this Is it going to be all Duty all the time from now on with Kickstarter, or are we going to see, or are you going to like alternate between the other campaigns, your other books as well?
So what George and I are trying to do is, like, George is launching Wonder Duck in May, and what we figured is that we want to build our individual audience and bring them together when we relaunch the 4th issue of Catch the Crazies. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping to bring those two populations together. So right now we're individually trying to build our brand, mm-hmm. And our audience. And then because while we were successful with the Crazies, the 3 campaigns, they were mild successes. Mm-hmm. You know, we really, for us, it's about units and the amount of hands it gets into. And so as we grow the popularity with Catch the Craze, and with our individual projects, if we can get that whole group together to come and follow us, and now they're fans of George, of what he does individually, of me, or what I do individually, and then we do together, hopefully, you know, the brand of Catch the Crazies wins. Mm.
So you're building up to like this larger.
Yeah. So this year, right now, you know, There's Nailing in My Toilet #2 will launch in June. So George is launching Wonder Duck. And at the end of that campaign, issue 2 of Disneyland in My Toilet will launch.
So are we going to see like a crossover for Duty and the Crazies? Because there's
some stuff.
There's some stuff in the works. Okay, there's some stuff in the works.
Yes. It's going to be. Yeah, we can't talk about it. But we have some plans to really cross promote all 3, even Wonder Duck. So because Wonder Duck also is a super being. And so there's some things that we're doing.
Oh, interesting. So there you go. That's a lot to look forward to then.
Yes.
So with your campaign, so somebody is looking at your campaign for the first time, and it's like they dig the premise and whatnot. where did they start? Like what would be the level you would
Daphne.
recommend that you would recommend, you know, for a beginner, I guess.
For
A beginner dudester.
Hold on. For the beginner dudester, I have to look at the real quick. I'll say what I would recommend is the
I wasn't you know, it's funny, it's like I asked this question a lot, you know, when we do interviews, and it kind of seems to throw off people.
I would say if you're new to it,
first physical tier.
Yeah, so I would say get the book, get the physical book, but if you have kids, you know, add on the coloring book and the trading cards for the kids. If you have a kid that's into trading card games, because this is the first generation card in a game that will launch next year. Get them the guidebook to the characters. So I mean, for you bodybuilders and you guys who are too cool, you're gonna laugh. You're not too cool for duty. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna laugh. So get it. You can hide it from your girlfriend. You don't have to tell your friends, but just get it. But and if you don't want to do it, use your kids or your cousins as an excuse to get it. Read it and then give it to them as a gift. I promise you, you will laugh, and they will love the fact that you gave them a comic book as a gift. You know,
that's a thing too. Totally.
Yes, because I know guys are just like, they feel like, oh, well, no, man, I'm too cool for that. You know, so they're gonna go and find something that has a little more adult rated themes. This is fun for all ages. I'm telling you, you're not too cool. You know, you're never too cool to have fun and laugh. I'm just saying.
Now, for people who already know your stuff, okay, so we have what you would recommend for your for beginner dudesters,
right?
You know. But I guess for your more seasoned collectors, you have a lot of interesting things available on here that even I'm like, oh, he did that. So now the original art, the original art bundle that we see here. So let's start off with that, because I guess original art you would think would be the obvious starting point. So tell us about the original art bundle here.
Well, I actually just threw that in yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. Basically, here's an opportunity to get the cover art for the guidebook, and also get the trading cards, the guidebook, and issue 1 as well. So you'll get an original 11x17. I was gonna wait till like 10 campaigns in to start putting, but I said, let me see if there's because we were successful with original art on our previous campaigns. So let's see if there's anybody who wants to own this, because you don't scoop it up today, issue campaign number 10, that price is doubled.
Right, yeah. Or the piece is long gone already.
Yeah,
right,
it's going to be a steal now.
Why is Duty not an add-on? The plush?
Because there's only 2. I only made prototypes. And because my goal is in the next few months to be able to walk into a pitch room. So what you see is Duty is a lifestyle brand. It is not just a comic book. So it's intended to be a multimedia brand. It was always intended to be that, and that's my purpose right now with Duty. So what I'm doing is I'm answering all the questions before I walk into that pitch room, where they're going to see the toy, the plush, they're going to see the animation, the comic book, you know, the guidebook, the trading card game, and all I have to hear is, all right, we need a marketing strategy on how to take it to the next level. That's it. You know, so I don't want to go in and say, well, you know, do you have this? Do you have that? I'm answering all the questions because I believe 100% in my DNA that this brand is going to take off. So I'm just setting the stage, and this is the early stage. And Kickstarter is allowing me to be able to breathe new life into the campaign, into the project.
Yeah, so show the plush again. Actually, show the plush, because awesome. I was just enamored with it. It's like, I was almost disappointed that it's not something that I could just buy.
I was so sad.
You know, that's so Duty's been hanging out with Alf, just want to say. But he's 18 inches, I think. Oh, 19.
Wow,
It's a big plush. They're prototypes, and then I have I've been painting the first figure.
Right, that was another.
Yeah, this is the first coat of the figure that I'm of Duty. So again, each campaign is going to have a different variation of duty. The next one's gonna have the Ronin. Yeah, so it took 3 hours just to do the first coat.
Yeah, those things are they take forever.
Yes, and I have 10 of those.
Right.
So
are they all going to be painted, or you're just
five are going to be virgin, without paint. So because there are a lot of people who like to paint model figures, so I'm leaving 5 empty, and then I'm painting 5.
Right. So the funny thing, does the base color glow in the dark? It looks like it's supposed to glow in the dark.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You should have gotten it glow.
I wish it did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wish it did.
Because I was looking, and again, it's like this is also a very limited edition. This is also a very limited edition piece. Again, that it's like, oh, it's not an add-on.
Yes, because I was talking to George. I said, I'm not, this is not Marvel or Todd McFarlane where they can price it at $9.99. These are
right. Yeah, no.
These are limited runs. You'll only find through me. At least for now, because I'm also talking to some collectible locations to carry them. So
right now, was there of course it's like was there a reason why you chose the size that you did as opposed to doing something smaller and maybe more manageable?
I wanted the 6-inch figures because I'm talking to collectible stores, and to carry it for the holiday season. So. And one of the things that they found more appealing were the 6-inch size.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Right. So that's now the plush though. It wasn't until I saw the plush that all these years I never noticed. Why does Duty wear a necktie? I never noticed in all these years.
Professional Daphne.
So you'll find out when he gets into the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a scene where Duty walked by a mirror, and he's like, "Oh, wait," and so he thinks it's a scale. So he actually goes into a closet, and you'll see.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes. But also, like Nita said, he's professional. He's very professional.
Yeah, he's very Duty. Duty's a handful
now.
Oh wow! So we have the link to that in the show notes, right, Nita? I haven't checked the show notes. She's been making executive decisions.
Expanded.
Right.
It's
right. So if you're interested in, there's an alien in my toilet. There's links in the description box below. So like I said, let's see, what are we up to?
That was not a vibrator. That was my phone, by the way.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Okay, because
you never know with this show. We were rearranging our offices, so we don't know where anything is yet. So we have 66 backers, 8 days to go. Oh, that was also one question I wanted to ask you. Why the shorter campaign?
Because Forbidden was grueling. The last campaign in 30 days. We went. I think the longest period I went like 6 days without a pledge, and I was like, I can't relive that because the stress is just too much. And so I said, I'm going to shorten the window because most people wait to the last day, and and I have some people who supported the campaigns. They'll wait to the last hour. Because they want it to be taken from their credit card immediately. They don't want it to linger because they,
I never thought of it. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. Of course, yeah.
You'll forget you did it, and then all of a sudden you're eating ramen if you're lucky for a week because JD will have a campaign that'll clear Daphne at the same time, and then there'll be another one, and it'll be like, holy shit, you got hit for everything in your savings account.
That happened to me this week. I had 4 campaigns all end of the same day. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and when the average campaign is like $25 to $50 a pop, it's like that's a big hit at one time.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap! All I see is whatever it is they say, funds would hold whatever.
Right.
But it doesn't worry you missing. You have that one extra payday if you go the 30 days. So people, you got that one extra week that it's possible somebody could pledge. See it.
Yeah,
I know, but it was a risk. It was the first time I'm doing 21 days, a risk. But I didn't want to. I did 5 campaigns last year. On top of the show and drawing and writing and promoting and
you're a busy dude.
Trying, so I think for I don't have the energy to live through. This was brutal enough because the signups didn't translate into the pledges from Jump. right? So you have all these people that signed up, but they didn't actually come and pledge the first 2 weeks. So I mean, like right now, I mean, yesterday I was at 114 sign up. Today I'm at 117 that are just they continue to sign. So while that's encouraging, what I want to get duty into as many hands as possible.
Right, yeah.
And I'm hoping that once people read it, that they come along for the second campaign, because it gets funnier and funnier. So I think I just didn't want to go through 30 days of that. I just wanted to go through 21 days, see how that worked, and then ride the way from there. I don't know if I'll do 30 days the next time, but this was. I think it's hard with all ages because
it's weird. The demand for all ages is great,
right?
But when it comes time to actually back an all ages product, it's like
it's the same.
It's like pulling teeth with these people.
Yes.
You can push it twice as hard as you would an adult themed campaign, and it's just like pulling teeth.
It's the same premise when it comes to like minority created comic books. So everyone says there's not enough representation, but the minority population doesn't come out and support the minority creators when they go, that direction. It's the same thing. So I think with all ages, I think people are more readily willing to either support animal books or something that's trending today that's PC based on what the public is saying, or your typical adult rated, TNA stuff. Because that blows through the water on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And
every time, never fails.
And so when they hear all ages, everyone gets nervous. Oh, it's this corny, they associate it with that. So I don't know if there's a better term, but so you have to work harder. I mean, I can tell you right now, I post multiple times on 12 different platforms every day.
There's no missing you. That's for sure.
Like, there he goes again. I'm in your window. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Lord.
I'm at the coffee table. Like, hi. Because if you don't do it, how do you get the word out?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's the thing too. It's like, and then what's funny is that there's that double whammy of, it's like, oh, people thinking, oh, it's like, I'm seeing you all over the place. But at the same time, it's like nobody complains when a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate puts Coke on every single surface.
Yes.
But you're in their windows once and they're like, oh, there's that duty guy again.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. And I get that all a lot because I think it's like over 30 podcasts that I've been on. Yesterday I was on 2, Saturday I was on 3, Friday I was like
killing it, man.
And I hear it over and over again. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Then go back it.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Or it's like, and that's the thing, right? And that's the thing too, because like they say they all want family friendly books, but then it's like when it's time to pledge, they're kind of like, oh, not today. But then it's like when I say that my book is mature audiences, they go, oh, why'd you do that? So it's like, well, which do you want? You're not. Yes. Are you supporting? Which one are you supporting?
Yes, I think whenever you create something that isn't your standard, right? Yeah. You're doing something that's different from everybody else. It's hard for people to accept it because they are used to this, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's used to, the image style of comics. If you look at a lot of Kickstarters, everyone's trying to get published by image, so they create that same look, the same coloring palette, all that stuff. I'm not taking anything away from that, but everyone's trying to get published, so they want to fit into that. Where anything that we do is very different. Yeah, very different, and so it takes courage to want to take a chance. Just like that first time your mom gives you Brussels sprouts, you're like, "What the hell is that?"
Right?
Like, just eat it; it's good for you. And until you eat it, because you cry, you're like, "I don't want to eat it," right? And then you eat it, like, "Oh, it's not that bad."
Right, yeah, exactly. Right? That's right. It's like
Brussels
olives and Brussels sprouts for me. Didn't realize it until much later. That's like, oh, this stuff's actually good. My mom just didn't know how to cook them.
right. Holy crap.
That type of. I'm not saying my mom in particular. I know she watches the vlogs, and it's like, no, I'm not meaning you specifically. So let's just clarify that.
Yeah, and it takes courage to try something different, and I think something like duty will eventually rise to the surface. It's just going to take a lot of work on my end, because you have to be your biggest cheerleader, because until it's in people's hands, and they're like, you know what? Just like Duty's an easy sell at Comic Cons. An easy sell. They just fly off. But, you know, because people are there and they see it physically and they're like, oh, I got to have this. You know, when you're trying to promote it digitally, you know, virtually, that's where the challenge is, because, you know, they don't have it in their hands. They can't turn the page. They got to take your word for it. And you know, I just saw, you know, what was it? What's that guy's name? Brian Polito just released a new campaign. I think I want some of that, you know. And then
no hate for Brian, but we have, you know, we do get a little cranky.
Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's I won't change to fit. You know, it's you know, Duty will be accepted. There is an audience for Duty. He has a place in the realm, and we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the thing we have to realize, that it's like, just because we don't have an audience now doesn't mean the audience isn't there. It just means we haven't found them yet.
Right.
And I do find it ironic that there's so many people in independent comics homogenizing their work so that they can fit into whatever the mainstream considers acceptable.
Everybody's getting variant covers with TNA.
You know,
because they want to try to sell that book, and I'm like, why do you need to compromise why do you spent a lot of time developing this story that you believed in, but you feel like you can't sell it unless you had something that was provocative that's going to drive.
There was one campaign, no names and no clues as to who. It was an all ages campaign, and they had an adult variant. Yeah, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, very like pick a lane.
And I am not against adult artwork. I'm totally down, but to run it with a kids campaign was just like, holy shit.
I have there are girls. Happen? Yeah, there are 3 girls. Daisy, Dee Dee, and Dolly in There's Anything in My Toilet. They make an appearance. I'm not going to put them in a provocative cover because I'm trying to sell There's Anything in My Toilet.
Right,
The story's about Duty.
Right,
They're supporting cast, and, you know, just because they're girls in there, I'm not going to use it, you know, because, I'm at it, you know, no one, I'm not selling as many units or whatever.
Right, yeah. I mean, that really is a weird part of marketing, where it's like you just watch people make very strange decisions, and it's just very like counterintuitive, because it's
there's some
the people because the people who are buying that variant cover, are they really going to be a fan of the actual book that's on the inside, or they're just interested in just the variant cover?
Yes, that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's why the main cover is priced the way it is, because if you want the variant covers are for collectors, right? And nostalgic or whatever, and they're limited runs. So you know what? I like this book. Right. I want the other covers. But the main cover issue one is the book. You know, so here there are 2 types of audience: the people who want to take a chance with the book, and the people who are collectors. So there's something for collectors in the campaign. There's stuff for, you know, the sticker lovers, you know, the trading card lovers,
right?
You know, the coloring book. If you know, so something for everybody in this campaign. And so you get to pick and choose which route you want to go with it, as long as you embrace the brand and support it, because it's an investment. You're investing in Duty's ability to expand his reach, and that's what it is. So when people say, and you'll never see me say, "Do me a favor," you're not doing me a favor. What you're doing is you're investing in tomorrow. And Duty, we need more kids brands and kids properties. And when I go on Kickstarter, when you search for kids properties, it's a long search, because it's a small percentage compared to everything else. So it's like you have to look through and go through it. And then when you actually go through it, there's a lot of adult themed stuff. So I'm like, all right, it's not really kids. It's more maybe 14 and up or 16 and up. So you have to be very specific on what your audience is.
Yeah. It's like, well, the ironic thing about it is that doing an actual kids book, it's like, oh wow, it's like, that sounds like it should be niche, or it shouldn't be niche.
Right.
But I guess your experience is like, this is a niche product.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, do you feel like that you can stand out easier because of that?
Yes. Because when you see Duty at a convention, you're going to stop and say, "What is that?" You're going to laugh first. Just the title alone is going to stop you in your tracks. But if you're a knucklehead, you're gonna be like, oh, really? And you're gonna walk away. But if you're interested, you're gonna walk over and say, what's this about? And then once you hear the premise, you're like, oh, and when you read the book, the title is only the hook, which is on issue 10. Right? So you don't understand the relevance until issue 10. So people think it's gonna be, like, and I've been on a lot of podcasts where everyone just goes crazy with the damn the duty jokes and the Uranus jokes. Right. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. Right. This is truly all ages. It's truly fun. It's safe for your kids, and there's an educational value to it. So yeah, duty does stand out at conventions, which is why I can have Forbidden on the counter. I can have everything, and when they see that cover or when they see that title, they're like, "What's that about?" And they scoop it up based on that, and they come back after they read it. You have another issue. What's the next issue?
Yeah. That's the best feeling. Yeah.
Yes, where again, like everything I've done is a specific target audience. Forbidden is a niche market. Cosmic Wars, niche market. There's nothing that I've ever produced that's like everybody else, and it was It's not intentional. It's just those are the influences as a child, and I just created from those life experiences because I was a big fan of those genres, and I just happened to create. Because of those influences. So I wasn't trying to be different. I was just always different. And from the jump.
Well, I mean, because to me, it's like that's the entire purpose of independent comics to begin with. I mean, it's like if we wanted what everybody else was making, we'd be buying, Marvel and DC stuff. We wouldn't be worried about independent comics. But right. I mean, the whole point is that we're creating books that, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we would want to pick up.
Yeah.
That we would want to see, that we would want to read. That's like, this is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, the last time I picked up a mainstream comic was Kingdom Come by Alex Ross.
Wow, that's...
a long time ago.
Yeah, when it first came out, not the reprints.
Right. So yeah, when it first came out, a long time ago. And I'm a true independent. I love when I go to the comic stores, I'm always looking for the number ones of the newest things to see, what are they doing? What are the new stories? Because I love that alternative creativity rather than I always put down the ones that look like everybody else's in the mainstream. Right. I try to pick up the ones that are raw, different angle, because that's where I think the heart is. We can all be robots and just draw for everybody else and follow the same thing, or we can just every individual was put on this earth with a purpose. You just have to understand what that is and just move forward.
Yeah. I mean, and also sometimes, especially, it looks like, as much as mainstream comics, they want to convince everybody that they're the vanguard of everything. Sometimes it looks like they're looking in our direction and go, that looks popular. That looks popular. Let's just convert it into something that we can monetize for ourselves.
Yes. And a message to the independent creators. When you get turned down by mainstream, sometimes it's because they see you as a potential threat to a specific brand that they currently have out there, and they won't. There's been a lot of creators that signed licensing deals or film deals, and they got buried. Why? Because there was existing brand they didn't want it to compete with, so they acquired it and they buried it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily because you didn't do your due diligence or your job or your brand is not appealing. It could be because people don't want to take the risk of destroying what they've already built, and they see you as a potential competitor. That same thing happens in the automotive industry. The reason why electric cars was put on the back burner because it would impact motor cars and gasoline and fuel, because that was a big business and they didn't want to. So what they did was they took it and they buried it until eventually they realized we're running out of resources and we have to eventually do it. So don't think it's because of you. It could be because you just created something so damn good that no one wants to compete with it, so they're just going to bury it.
Well, it's the reason why one of the first things Disney did when it acquired Fox was shut down their animation studio. That's it's literally because of that. Maybe they did like a half-hearted release on what was already like completed and whatnot, but the ultimate goal was just to shut down just another competitor.
Yeah. And that's why I say you just got to keep fighting. I mean, I know Duty's marketable. We had an open door at one point, and then things changed, and so now my goal is to finish what I started and go all the way with the brand. And Kickstarter is just an opportunity for me to introduce it to an audience that doesn't even know who Duty is, because there's probably about 1,000 people that have the books. So how many millions of comic fans are out there? So it's like, and then what percentage of them are all age readers? So it's like I'm looking for that percentage of people to get it.
So I guess like to talk a little bit more about the process of working on Kickstarter. It's like, do you consider, because I get accused of this by JD all the time, that I'm too much of a numbers whore. That I'm always looking at the numbers and comparing numbers, and well, should I compare this number with that number and this? Right. Well, what if I did this to move that number? Do you find yourself like always doing that, or do you have more like a different approach to how you look at campaigns?
The most important number for me on the campaign is the conversion. What percentage of the people who signed up actually converted, and then because when I'm looking at it right now, there is 83 people who have not converted yet, right? So what percentage of that population is going to convert on the last 2 days? They say on average is about 25% of that population.
That's high. That's considered phenomenal. That's what I've read in like total marketing, like just in generic
22
marketing.
to 25% is
like if you get that much, it's phenomenal. Like right, not even like Disney gets that.
Right. Because when I launched the campaign, I believe we launched that in the 70s, and now we're over 117 people that have signed up. So so that's the most important thing for me. Right. And so that's why and I know that for some people they might have sticker shock with this campaign, like, holy crap, right? So I kept that in mind. So I adjusted some things. I put in some bundles, some specials on the weekend, and whatever to drive an incentive. I did the Emperor's bundle, which you can collect everything from the Crazies Forbidden, and someone scooped it up. So you don't know who wants what. There are those who just want everything you've done. There's some people who just, don't even want anything, but they like what you're doing. They want to just support and just donate. And then there are people who actually are interested in the campaign and want to own it. So for me, it's just like, how do I convert everybody? Right. How do I spread the message? I'm always looking at what I'm saying. Is my delivery convincing enough? So I think that the number is just the conversion rate. I'm happy if I make go, and I made go with 1,000 people just got the digital copy. Oh. That means 1,000 people read it. You know what I mean? So that's so if you didn't want to get the physical for some reason, it's open internationally, so you can get it anywhere around the world. If you just wanted to read it and figure out whether or not this is right for you, and then get the digital. If you want to own it, again, and this is my selling point. George Medina stopped drawing a decade ago. He did that cover, that one cover, that the $10 cover. He did that cover. It's a rare item. It was sold on eBay for $40. Someone sold that cover on eBay it's a rare item. When this pops off, that cover by George Medina is a rare thing you'll never find. You want that cover, right? And so just from a collector standpoint, but you benefit by two things. You're going to get something that's rare and another thing that's funny and endearing, and you're going to love the character just as much as you love Invader Zim or Marvin the Martian or Alf. You will fall in love with Duty. Duty has a way of bringing you into his his world.
He's hard to resist. I must say he is
hard to resist. And when I received the plush in the mail,
I could imagine. I was like
a 2-year-old boy. It reminded me as a kid again, and I was like, oh my God, he's here. He is a reality. This is the first step into a long journey that will eventually get there, where I can sit down and pick up an article and read it about Duty or watch him on TV. That's my goal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could imagine because I saw the unboxing video you did on the vinyls, and it was it's like just seeing it like that, for the first time. It's like, holy crap, I did this. I mean, granted, you didn't do the actual sculpt or whatnot, but it's like, this is my character.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it. You take a 2-dimensional illustration and it becomes this 3-dimensional, larger than life thing, and it's just fantastic. I mean, even like I decided to omit the gun in the holster, so like when because this is part of my pitch for toys. The holster is a bag, so kids can put in their marbles or their candy
or their trading cards.
Yeah.
You can put the duty trading card game in there.
Yes. Yes. And so, and then you can take off the tie and retie it, you can put it on a bandana, whatever you want to do with it. So, and then eventually one of the things, George and I was talking about is like, if it's in the right hands, having just one duty doll, but all the outfits that are interchangeable.
Like an alien Barbie.
Yes. So duty's coming for Barbie, and the ultimate compliment would be if something like McFarlane Toys did duty.
Right. Oh, absolutely. No, actually, the thing about the clothing, though, no kidding. It reminds me of So Tokyo Disney came out that they just recently that Disney brought to the United States, but Tokyo came up with this first. So they have like these little dolls of like Mickey, Minnie, and all that, right? They're posable, but the money is in the clothing you buy for them.
Yes.
So it's like, so you can, I unfortunately I put mine away, but it's like, it's like, you collect little outfits for them, and you can, so it's like for Duty to do that too, it's like, that would be brilliant, because that's, so like, here's his little samurai outfit, here's his little astronaut outfit, here's his little cowboy,
and you can create all the scenes and reenact the comic book, all those things, and that's my like long-term vision plan. Like I have it's like a pipeline. I have the schematic, the stages of what I'm doing with the character and what my vision is, and but it requires more from me than anything I've ever done in my life. And if you knew me from Bet Crazy Comics days, I was overly aggressive, and this requires double that to promote this in a world that's saturated, in a world that's noisy, in a world where people are afraid to take risks on new projects.
Well, it's like, if only you had the energy at 21 now when you really need it.
That's the part. That's why the crow's feet are coming in faster. Because I get up at 7, I go to sleep around 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm in this dang studio, just grinding. And then promoting the craze. That's a 5-day-a-week show. On top of drawing, on top of writing, on top of promoting. And on top of trying to be a good husband, it's finding the right balance. It's tough. So but there's a plan. There's a plan for Cast of Crazies. There's a plan for George's Wonder Duck. There's a plan for Cast of Crazies podcast. But there's a bigger plan for Duty.
So on that note, we're just, I mean, this hour just flew by like Duty in his little spacecraft. I mean, this is, but that's what passion is. It's like you're able to just talk about your work without like, oh, we don't need to do a bump. We don't need to just keep on talking, So I just want to thank you for coming on our show today, and thank you for bringing Duty with you, because like I said, that plush toy, it's like, I have to see it. But the thing is about the little Disney plushes, they're called Numios. It's like they even put out collector edition clothing too. Like, that's how far gone this thing is. Like there's literally like collector little clothing sets that people just go, like they just pay premium for on eBay because it's not the main line. I mean, it's just, they just go absolutely ridiculous with it. So
that's awesome.
So tell the peoples where they can find you, Sam.
Right now, you can find me at the Kickstarter, hanging out at the bar, trying to promote Disney in my toilet. But no, Catch the Craze. So it's simple. It's right there on the page. No matter where on social media, I'm on 12 different platforms. It's under Catch the Craze. I do have sub places like on Instagram where there's Nailing in my toilet. But if you just go to Catch the Craze, you'll find me, or my link tree, /Catch the Craze. Simple, and has everything there. Or go to my website at icreatestories.com.
Right, and it's Catch the Craze with a DA.
Yes,
yeah,
straight from the block.
Yeah.
We don't use THE on the block.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's like, it's like we try to be efficient. So, Nita.
No.
So I'm sure. So you'll have all those links available for Sam in the show notes and the extended
Before
version.
it's published, it'll be in the show notes.
There you go. And also Mike Jimmy, who's a wrench handler in the chat. He also put links in the chat as well.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
So we're just hitting the top of the hour. I just want to thank everybody in the chat for commenting and posting and whatnot, just having a good time with us here. Everybody who's watching, I see you 6 people watching. And if you happen to be watching on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you go ahead onto YouTube and subscribe to our channels there and hit that bell notification so that you get notified when we go live with all of our vlogs and interviews. Our interviews are starting up on Friday, by the way. So it's like, so March is going to be chock full of stuff. So make sure you sign up. You sign up at, you click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. So, Nita, do you have any words for the peoples? Where can they find you?
They can find me all over the internet as Creating Chaos 24/7 or at C_Chaos 247.
There you go. And I'd like to thank everybody on behalf of us, on behalf of me. And if you want to see more of my stuff, you can head over to my main portfolio site, egoworks.com, right there, EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But you can also check out my link tree in the show notes below. I do mostly post to Facebook, though, if you're into seeing sketches and current work in progress, although my Patreon is now available for more in-depth behind the scenes stuff as well. So, and again, if you're watching from Facebook and Twitter, you can also see all the videos on how I do all my work on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. So on that, thank you everybody. Thank you for all watching, and I like, share, subscribe, everything that you need to do to keep the algorithm gods happy. Subscribe to our channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Sam's channel, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's easy, Yeah. And on that note, as always, hydrate, stay moisturized, do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Hit the button.
Smash it. Hi, everyone. Daphne Lage here. Join Nita, Lanning, and me on the Ragin to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.